Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town, of New York town.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
The energy revealed. Brooklyn to Queens, reppin' both hoods. Rob and CP, keep it fire, misunderstood. Cheer 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Mets fans unite at the pregame show. From city stand lights to the skyline greens, it's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. Rob hype on the mic, CP's the fire spark. Together they ignite, voices like the park fans drift in jerseys. Legacy bold, the metropolitan story forever told. Turnstile spinning, the crowd floods the gates. This is family, no time for debates. Crack of the Batman, the roar never fades. Queens in the blood, it's how champions are made. Cheer 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Mets fans unite at the pregame show. From city stand lights to the skyline greens, it's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. 7-line swagger, vibes electric and wild. Mets legacy golden since I was a child. Orange crushed skies, let the battle ignite. Ride for the home team till the last fight.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the Amazing Mets pregame show right here on the channel. As you can see, it's running solo today. Chris might not be able to make it, but if he does, we all know we're going to put him right on because he is the co-host. He is one of the Amazing Mets pregame show hosts, and we always love to have Chris on as always. But right now, it is just me with the City Connect colors rolling throughout the background and to bring you guys a little bit more graphics throughout the season with the pre-games and post-games. We got a little City Connect colors here today, and we finally have another game. And the first night game of the season, obviously it's only game 2 of the season at night. First game at CitiField at nighttime. I don't know if I said that right, but that's okay. So good news is the Mets won a ball game yesterday. It was a well-rounded game. They didn't get a ton of hits, but the top of the order did what the top of the order should do. They should be the run producers in the ball game, and that's exactly what happened. They had 4 hits in the game yesterday. Obviously, the score was 5-0. It was a well-rounded, good game. Tyler Miguel pitched well. The bullpen came in. We got Reed Garrett, A.J. Minter, and Max Kranick all pitched well out of the bullpen. The Mets ERA as a team if I'm not mistaken, it might have dropped, but what they showed yesterday, I think they were third in baseball in staff ERA. That's a good start when most of us or some of us thought that the starting pitching would be the lesser of the three of the offense, the bullpen, and the starters would be a little bit worse than the others, and the offense would carry the team. But as of right now, the pitching has carried the team. Not many guys have been rolling offensively. Lindor got a little bit better yesterday, especially leading off the game with that hustle double. Juan Soto has been trucking along a little bit, not very good. He did get a base hit yesterday. The double yesterday, that was nice to see. But Pete Alonso's red hot right now, and the beauty of the Pete Alonso situation right now is the approach. He's not worrying about pulling the ball. And that's been the most important thing. I think him to be successful and bump that average up, because he talked about the average, especially in spring training. He was not happy with his average. Yeah, the home runs weren't, as high as he would like them, but the average was, wasn't good for him. And he even said that, when you're a 255, 260 career hitter and, you're not where you're supposed to be average wise, the home runs are nice. But if he gets that average up to the 250s, even the 260 range with the 40 bombs, with the 100-plus RBIs, I mean, that's all-star caliber MVP votes type of season. And we all know that's what we need from Pete Alonso, because this team, even with Juan Soto, even with Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso is a big key to the Mets' success. And you see what happened when you had a down season, or in Pete Alonso's terms, when you have a down season for Pete Alonso, the Mets do struggle. Even though other guys picked it up last year, you see how hard it is to do so when Pete Alonso is not going well. And we all seen, I don't care what the numbers say, we watched him every day last year, and he could not get it right at the plate. And we all seen it. This year, totally different story for Pete Alonso. Even the at-bats where he might have a couple of strikeouts, where he doesn't get a hit, you could see the balance at the plate. You could see him not forcing himself to go after those pitches that are well outside the zone that he was accustomed to last year. There was a couple of times in yesterday's game where that pitch last year he would have struck out on, or would have just easily popped it up, or that pitch, I forgot, right before he hit the home run, there was a pitch that was about, I would say, above the letters, high, a fastball. That's a pitch that he easily would just flail that, and he would have struck out. But this year, this Pete Alonso, this approach is a guy that won't be swinging at those pitches. And you hope it continues. Again, he's going to have a tough stretch. I mean, nobody has a 162-game season of greatness. And even the best player in the world is going to go through a slump. So he will have a slump. And when he goes through that first slump, because that's what you want to see, and players that come out of a slump are usually the ones that are very good. The ones that can't get out of a slump are the ones that struggle, the ones that are, fringe major leaguers, or in Pete Alonso's case, was in his own head. And I don't think it's the talent. I think it's the situation of him being mentally there in the at-bats, mentally there in the game. A lot of things were going on last year, not just the contract, but the Mets were losing. And even when they were winning during the season, Pete Alonso had a tough time. And unfortunately, it was rough for him until he got to the playoffs. And then Pete Alonso showed what he's done in the playoffs the 2 times he has entered the postseason, and he's done extremely well. And that's what we need from a guy that is one of the faces of the franchise, and that's a fact. So, all right, guys. So, once again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. Make sure you hit on that like button, subscribe to the channel. If Chris does pop up and join the show, I'll obviously put him on, and we'll discuss today's game, as the Mets will be wearing their City Connects for the first time at night on a Saturday. You don't get a lot of Saturday night games, even though this year I think there's only one Saturday afternoon game. And that's very interesting. But again, you know what I do like, though? I like the Saturday night games. I don't know why. I'm usually, for some reason, since I moved to North Carolina, I've been off on Sundays. So Saturday nights work for me, but I know it doesn't work for everybody, especially with family and all that stuff. So I get it. 100% get it. But the night games on the weekend, especially on Saturday, are just cool. And the City Connects are going to work so well at night. And, the light theme and the light schemes that they're going to have at CitiField tonight is just going to be awesome. This is the first time, with the first night game at CitiField, the LED lights, all the craziness that goes on. It's a party scene. It was a party scene yesterday at 3 p.m. Like, that place was rocking. It sounded, and Gary Cohen said it, Keith Hernandez said it felt like the postseason. That has not been a feeling at CitiField for a long time. Even in 2022, early on this season, it didn't feel like that. CitiField was absolutely electric on Friday. It was just outstanding. And it's a lot of fun to see because Met fans are excited. And it's not just about Juan Soto. Does Juan Soto have a lot to do with it? Absolutely. But you know what? It also has to do with the Mets re-signing Pete Alonso. It has a lot to do with the expectations put on the New York Mets because of the signing of Juan Soto, because of the re-sign of Pete Alonso, bringing in a very good bullpen. That's why fans are excited. We have expectations. Met fans don't get this a lot. We don't get expectations often for our teams. And this should be normal with the Steve Cohen ownership, with David Stearns running things. This should be consistent. We should be going to every year having expectations, having postseason aspirations, having World Series aspirations. And this is what fans are getting excited about. Make no mistake about it. Where season ticket memberships were completely sold out. Record sales ticket-wise for the season. That just doesn't happen overnight. There's reason for that. And Juan Soto does have a lot to do with it, but all around, it's just a better vibe around the team. And you've seen it yesterday, right? At bat one for Francisco Lindor. He didn't even get up to the plate yet. He calls a timeout. You know why? Because the fans were singing My Girl. Like, that's the atmosphere that I want at CitiField every day. Now, the weather sucks. It's raining. It's a little chilly at CitiField today, but they're going to get the game in. It's not going to really start raining hard until like 9 o'clock. So we should get most, if not all, the game in by the time it really gets coming down hard. It might drizzle a little bit during the game, but it's looking like they can get the game in no problem. Obviously, if it goes into extra innings, that might be a concern, but the weather was really nice yesterday. The weather should hold up today. I'm not sure about tomorrow. It's supposed to rain. Who knows? But the electric vibes at CitiField is there. And I mean, I'm pumped for tonight's game. I want to see the City Connect jerseys. I want to see CitiField at night with the lights. I want to get the electric feeling with the LED lights going crazy during bullpen changes. And hopefully the Mets have an opportunity to have Edwin Diaz come out with the trumpets. It would just be electric, and it's going to be electric again. I have my friends sending me pictures tailgating once again. I mean, especially the home opener and the first home series of the year is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you're going to get everybody tailgating early. People been in the parking lot for about 2.5 hours now, just barbecuing, drinking, having a good time. And that's the atmosphere you want. You just don't want that for the postseason because that's kind of a given, right? Postseason, atmosphere, vibes, electric is a given for the postseason. Yesterday, and I've been to many open days. As I said yesterday, my first opening day I have missed in 10 years because obviously I don't live in the state, and it just didn't work out schedule-wise when it comes to going. But again, 10 years, let's do the math. I went to 2015. I went to 16, 17, 18, 19. Didn't go to 20, obviously pandemic. 2021, 2, 3, and last year. It was fun. The vibes are good because it's opening day. But it did not sound like it did yesterday. And that is so much fun. So much fun, and I love it. But the expectations are there. The fans are feeling it. The fans are vibing. The fans are electric. And it's up to this New York Mets team to live up to those expectations. And will they do it? Could they do it? Should they do it? Will all be answered over the next 6 months of baseball. And that's why we watch every single day. Duran, thank you for the super chat. Like and subscribe. Talking about your Rob. I do appreciate it. But hey, don't forget, subscribe to Chris's channel as well. True Mets Talk Podcast with CP. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. You all know he does really good work. He works hard on his channel just as much as everybody else that does the channel. It's not easy. So make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. And unfortunately, Chris probably is not going to join us. But again, if he shows up, I'll put him on. So I just want to get through the comments really quick. Let's see who's here. We got Explosive. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Explosive. We got Ken. We got Steven. We got Brad. We got Stony. We got Zero. We have Robert Bonilla. Who else we have? We got Daniel. Steven. CD. How you doing? How you doing? And Duran, of course, we just saw. Mike Lewis. How you doing? And I thought there was one more, but I maybe missed it. All right, there we go, guys. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's get to the game today as we got Griffin Cannon on the mound for the New York Mets. Again, he pitched pretty well. Actually, he pitched good against the Houston Astros, and I do like to see that. I think that he's going to be a surprise for us. It's interesting because he does have good stuff. We see it. We see the stuff. It's just he has issues with control. He had over a 5 ERA last year in his 30-plus starts with the Los Angeles Angels. And listen, Stern seen something in him as he gave him a $4.5 million. Like it was early on in the offseason. It wasn't, and that's something where it's like, oh, Griffin Cannon. And who knew that Griffin Cannon would be a big part of this rotation with the Manaea injury, with the Montas injury, with the rotation, with a Tyler McGill, so you kind of wonder like, I don't know, but he looked good against Houston. That's a very good Houston lineup. He's facing a good lineup in the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. And we just have to see what we're going to get from him. Again, second start here. We'll see how he is first time at home. And, the jitters are going to be there, right? It's going to be electric. That's just how it goes now. And I think he can control this Toronto Blue Jays lineup. They're very swing happy. If you notice that, they swing it a lot. They don't take a lot of walks. They swing a lot. They like to put the ball in play. They don't even strike out that much, but they like to put the ball in play, and that might benefit Griffin Cannon, even though he's somewhat of a strikeout pitcher with the stuff that he has. It might keep him in the ball game a little bit longer. It might keep his pitch count down, and that's what you want to see. You want to see if he can get, because again, we want to see. I want to see these guys get to the sixth inning. I know it's not, it's not thought about much anymore. After 5 innings, they don't like to get this pitcher through the third time through the order. But again, yesterday, Mendoza wasted no time to get McGill out when he got into a little bit of trouble, even though he pitched well, took him out, didn't let him blow up, and went to the bullpen. And yeah, we got a lot of multiple inning guys here, which is very beneficial. You give guys days off when you get to use other guys, but it's April 5th, and we're nearing 20 innings of our bullpen in 7 games. That, I don't care what anybody says, that's not a recipe for success for the longevity of a season. At some point, you got to get your starters, at least a few of them, to the 6th inning. So you can just use 1 inning per guy. You don't have to go multiple innings with multiple guys, because you lose those guys, right? Max Craddock is not going to pitch for probably a day or two, right? Well, probably 2 days. You might get Reed Garrett. You're probably not going to get Minter. They don't seem like they're going to go back to back on him. So you lose that. And let's hope that with the multiple inning guys that the Mets do have, they have about, let's see, 3, probably can go 4 if you really need to, with 4 different pitchers going multiple innings. That should help with the overuse of a bullpen. But at the same time, you also just don't want to go to the bullpen every single time in the 5th inning. Like, it's not good. You got Clay Holmes couldn't get through the 5th inning. McGill has been fine, but, both times in both games, he gets, 5 1/3, 5 2/3, and then he starts to struggle. I'm not going to say struggle. That's a wrong word. But you could see a little bit of crack in the armor, and Mendoza is not going to play. He takes him out. And that's a good move by Mendoza. You know, you can easily leave McGill in and see what he can do. And at some point, you're going to have to do it. At some point, Mendoza's going to have to leave McGill out there and let's see him get through it. Because if he gets through it, that's one less pitcher you probably have to use, and one less inning you have to use a bullpen arm. And that's something that I think Mendoza, you're going to see it start happening. And with the off days that we have in the first 2 weeks of the season, it helps using the bullpen the way Mendoza has. And you also got to win ball games. So it's a catch-22 here. You want to win ball games, but you also want to burn out your bullpen. With Griffin Cannon, Tyler McGill, and that goes with Kodai Senga. That goes with David Peterson and everybody else in this rotation. Got to see that sixth inning every now and then, right? If we get 2 out of the 5 starters going to the sixth inning, again, that helps our bullpen. You don't have to use an extra guy, most likely. That is a good thing. And yeah, by the way, Alvarez is already catching. He's going to be doing hitting drills or hitting bullpens, a little bit of batting practice in I think a day or two. So that's a good sign. I'm not sure about McNeil, even though they said he's probably not going to be out more than a couple of weeks. We'll see. But again, it's not like anybody's running away with the second base position, right? Acuna swings at everything. Beatty can't lift the ball. So it's not like anybody is taking hold of that second base job. And that's unfortunate. Explosive, thank you. So, okay. See, I haven't looked at SNY's Twitter account. So McNeil is taking reps. That's good. So he might be back very soon. And again, this is going to determine. Again, this is why Beatty's getting the start today. We'll get into the lineup in a little bit. Acuna got the start yesterday. Beatty got the start today. Mendoza's trying to give these guys opportunities to take the job. Like, somebody's getting sent down. Now, everybody can just say, oh, it's going to be Brett Beatty. Strong possibility. But if one of these guys start hitting, it's going to make that decision a lot easier. And again, we still know that there's something with Acuna and what they didn't like to see during spring training and in the minors with the lackadaisical play. And look, we haven't seen that here at the big league level. I think he was a little lazy getting to second base when he missed that double play when he threw it away in Houston. He looked a little lazy getting to second base, which made him rush to throw. But again, first start, opening day, not going to go crazy. It is what it is. He hasn't done it since. So that's a good sign. His defense is definitely better than Brett Beatty. But Brett Beatty also hasn't made a mistake at second base when he's played defense. So, to me, it's kind of even. Like, Acuna got 2 hits. I think Beatty got 1 hit, and the defense has been fine. Acuna has 1 error. Beatty has no errors. So it's not anything special for either one of these guys right now. But it would be nice if somebody steps up. So it makes that decision a lot more harder for Mendoza and the organization to make that decision who to send down. Well, Ken, I 100% agree with you. And that's the thing, right? One game, the Mets have given up more than 4 runs. 1 out of the first 7. That's recipe for success. You should win those games. And yeah, it would be nice if the Mets score more than 3 runs. The pitcher can't say in a little bit, but it's not even about where the Mets are runs-wise. McGill couldn't get out of that inning. As good as he was, he couldn't get out of that inning. He started to, have that little crack in the armor. That's why Mendoza took him out. If he was rolling, he only had, 79 pitches? He would have kept him in there, but he couldn't do it. That's the other issue, too. Like, regardless, the Mets could have been winning 1-0. If your pitcher's pitching 1, you're not taking him out. The reason why he got taken out because he put 2 men on. And that's why Reed Garrett came in. So, it has nothing to do with the situation of what the score is. If McGill looks like he's starting to, wear down a little bit, they're taking him out. If he was rolling, he would have probably went through the 6th inning, maybe even when it came out for the 7th. That's a strong possibility. But who's really done that? So we're going to see. We're really, really, really going to see. But again, the pitching has been damn good. Nobody has been, you didn't have an uh-oh moment with any of our starters yet, which is, I guess Clay Holmes, who has not pitched. I would say just under average. I just don't like his approach pitching right now. I just don't understand the logic in his first 2 starts. His best pitch in spring training was his kick change. That was his best pitch that set up all his other pitches. That's his new pitch to add to his arsenal. The problem that I think Clay Holmes is having, and I know we're not talking about Clay Holmes right now, but it is a talking point because of the fact that Clay Holmes has his arsenal that he's been using for the first 2 starts that he used primarily for the bullpen. He developed that kick change so he has an extra pitch to be a starter. That kick change is supposed to be important to set up those other pitches. The problem is he's not throwing it. He's thrown it less than 3% of the time in his first 2 starts. Like, I just don't understand why that's the case. And we'll get into that when he pitches again. But that's frustrating. I don't know if that's Hefner. I don't know if he's pitching in the bullpen and he doesn't like how it feels out of his hand. Or starting might be a little bit too big for him. It's all easy and fine and dandy when you're facing 50 minor leaguers in spring training and you look like a Cy Young. Whole different story when you're actually facing real major leaguers second, third time through the order. Big difference. So, but I still think it's more about the kick change. And Ken, I am giving him a break. I'm just I'm questioning, and I don't think it might not be him. Or maybe it is him, but again, we don't know. But he's throwing his kick change. That was his lethal pitch. His best pitch in spring training. He's not throwing it at all. 3% of the time in 2 starts. That has to change. Like, even if you don't have a great feel for it, throw it every now and then so the hitter has to worry about that pitch. And yeah, the defense has been shit behind him. But again, how many times have we said it? When the pitcher makes a mistake, the defense picks him up. When the defense makes a mistake, the pitcher picks him up. How about this, Clay Holmes? How about picking up your teammate? That would be nice. Do that. Because when Acuna made that error, did you see Clay Holmes' reaction? You don't make that reaction. All right? You pick up your teammate. You don't have the, oh my God, look what he did reaction. You don't do that. All right? I think Clay Holmes should be better. But show it. Right? You're getting start number 3 fairly soon. I think he's facing the Marlins, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think, let me just double check. I don't think he pitches tomorrow. No, I don't think so. I think it's Peterson. Let me double check, guys. I just want to see stuff. Excuse me. Let's see. Because the off days kind of messed me up. Yeah. So it's going to be the Marlins series. So he's going to be pitching in the Marlins series. So this is the second time you're going to see the Marlins. Not a good lineup. You should do it. You should do better. And I want to see Clay Holmes use that pitch that he developed, that he learned. Like, that's the whole point of learning that pitch, because the Mets made you a starter. And I'm sorry, but those pitches that he has, that he used, his arsenal that he used in the bullpen, won't work as a starter because it's not enough pitches. It might work one time through the order, but when they see it the second, third time through the order, and oh, by the way, he barely got through he barely kicked into that third part of the order. I'm sorry. He has good enough stuff to dominate lineups. And right now, I don't know. And I don't think, and I said this in the offseason, I think there's going to be a time where Clay Holmes is going to get moved to the bullpen. I know that's not exciting for anybody and people would rather have him as a starter. I think because of the success of Max Kranick, because of Minaya and Montaz probably coming back within a month, or hopefully a month, I think Clay Holmes would probably be best suited in the bullpen. And the Mets have that option, right? Remember, the Mets said in the offseason, they're going to try Clay Holmes. They never said that he's guaranteed a starting job. They said they're going to try him and give him the opportunity to start. So nothing set in stone. And we will see, but again, I want to see him. He's going to see the team twice in a week in the Marlins. We shall see. All right, guys, so let's get to the lineup right here for tonight's game against Chris Bassett. Mets are 4-3. The Toronto Blue Jays are 5-3. Game 8 of the season. First night game at CitiField. Mets wearing their City Connect. And I do see Arlene with, or Arlena, I'm sorry if I spelled it wrong, Arlena, with the grimace icon. That's pretty cool. I like that. And Stan, I do agree with you with that. How you doing, guys? I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at the chat, trying to catch up to everybody. Joel is in the house. Carlos is in the house. Mr. Nobody. Fred, how you doing? I think I said Steven already. Let's see. Committee, how you doing? Keith, how you doing? Jay. And there's probably more, and I'm going to get to you guys. Duran, Joel. Okay. I think I got the mostly everybody. And Arlene. Okay, Arlene, perfect. I just want to make sure I get it right. All right, guys. So let's get to the Mets lineup tonight. We got Francisco Lindor, the top four that we have been seeing for a while. Juan Soto, batting second. Pete Alonso, batting third, cleaning up Brandon Nimmo. Jesse Winker getting to start at DH, batting fifth. Mark Vientos once again in the sixth hole, playing third base. Brett Beatty's in the lineup today, batting seventh, playing second base. Luis Turan catching, batting eighth, and Jose Siri batting ninth, playing center field. Again, Phillies lose, Dodgers win yet again. That's right, Ken. All right, guys. So again, we know what the first four is, right? Again, Vientos is going to stay in that sixth hole until he starts hitting. He's not in for his defense. He is not the starter because of his defense. He's the starter because his offense needs to play in this lineup. This lineup is so much more lethal with Mark Vientos hitting. And let's hope he does that today. Get him started a little bit. Jesse Winker, can he not swing at the first pitch, please? Can you work the count a little bit? It would be nice. Yeah, Ken, I do agree with you. But again, the Mets are trying to get Siri in here, trying to get him going. I think they know Tyrone Taylor, whenever they put him in, he's going to get the job done. So, and I know, that's what you should be thinking, but I think they want to get Jose Siri going. We saw Mendoza do this a couple of times with Jeff McNeil and a couple of other guys in the lineup last year. When a guy is struggling, he tries to get them going. As much as, you would put Tyrone Taylor in, with this lineup, you just want to get Jose Siri going a little bit. He does have power. I think that's what they're trying to look for. Ken, Siri hasn't been good on defense either. Well, that's not true. Where has he made a mistake? Even Tyrone Taylor misjudged the ball, but again, I don't think either one of them has made terrible mistakes. He misran a ball, but that's once just like Tyrone Taylor misjudged the ball. So again, I think they want to see Jose Siri. Hasn't caught up the balls. There's one ball that I can think of where he kind of took a wrong pat to the ball, and that was the ball that went over his head. But again, I don't think he might have caught that ball. Who knows? But we're nitpicking at this point, aren't we? Tyrone Taylor misplayed a ball, and it actually cost us the run. So I just think they want to get Jose Siri's back going a little bit. They want to see a little bit of that power, excuse me. Ken, I don't know. I think you missed it. We weren't playing the Marlins yesterday, sir. We were playing the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm just messing with you, Ken. I know what you're talking about. I understand. Listen, I'd like to see Tyrone Taylor too, but I'm trying to get the mindset of Mendoza. Look, I don't agree with Mendoza. I'd rather play Tyrone Taylor. But again, when you got a lineup, when you have a lineup like you have that should score runs, regardless if Tyrone Taylor or Jose Siri is in the lineup, you can put Jose Siri in the 9-hole to get him going. I'm just saying. I think that's what Mendoza's trying to do. He did it a lot last year with a couple of guys that were struggling in the lineup. Why not? Let him get going. I'm telling you, Jose Siri, again, average-wise, is not a very good hitter. I completely agree with you guys. But the power can be impressive. That is why they brought him over here along with his defense. So, and again, here's the other thing too, Ken, that I think Mendoza's thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling Chris Bassett's not going to blow anybody away. Jose Siri has a short, compact swing, but at times it can get long when he's trying to hit the home run every single time. With Chris Bassett not throwing hard, throws a lot of junk up there, tendency to leave balls up, it's a good time to get a player going. And this might be the opportunity, along with Jesse Winker, along with Mark Vientos, and oh, by the way, along with Brett Beatty, to get a guy that's not going to overpower you and see if they can start hitting a little bit. And this is a prime example. I think the spotlight is solely on Brett Beatty and solely on Mark Vientos. These two guys should hit Chris Bassett. He's not going to overpower you. He's not going to throw a fastball by you. He might throw a lot of junk that you might swing at. But Brett Beatty with his long swing should be able to have no issue with it. Let's see if he gets some action out of it. Same thing with Mark Vientos. Batting under 100. What is he batting? Like 060 now? Get it together. Let's go. We talked about this. Me and Chris talked about this. No more excuses for anybody. Anybody. That goes from the biggest star in his team to the last guy on the roster. There's no excuses. There will be no more excuses. Right? There is no more, well, they weren't supposed to be good anyway. No, that doesn't work anymore. All right? They're good enough to win every game. Obviously, it's baseball, so that's not possible. But let's get another clean game here, right? We had a really nice clean game yesterday. The offense wasn't a juggernaut yesterday. They got 4 hits, but those 4 hits were clutch, and they developed into 5 runs. Obviously, the Mets won 5-0 yesterday. Pitching was outstanding. We scored 5 runs on 4 hits. It's the production that you get in those 4 hits. And each one of those 4 hits were extra base hits. Home run and 3 doubles. So that's what I want to see, this offense dominate games. I would say they dominated 2 games so far. 2. That was the first game against the Marlins and yesterday. I don't even think game 3 of the Marlins series was that impressive. I think they probably deserved to lose that game, all the mistakes they made. Now, kudos to them and credit to them that they pulled it out. And a good team pulls out games that you don't deserve to win. But 2 out of 7 games so far, I think the offense really dominated the game. This should happen more often. This lineup is too good. Way too good. And with Chris Bassett, who's not going to overpower you and not throwing fastballs by you, beat him up, right? Get in Chris Bassett's head. He's a guy that loses his mind on the mound. That's what you got to do tonight, guys. Let him get in his own head. We've all seen it. We've all seen Chris Bassett on the mound for the New York Mets just completely lose it. When he's in his own head, he doesn't pitch well. The Mets got to get to him. The Mets seen him, and last time we seen him, he pitched well against us, but again, different lineup. This lineup is better. We'll see how it goes. So we're about 40 minutes into the pregame today, guys. Don't forget, guys, we are doing a postgame tonight. Me and Chris will be on the postgame tonight, obviously. Tune in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Once this pregame is over, it's going to direct you to the postgame show on my channel. Make sure you hit that like button before you close out of it. And then tune in to the postgame show whenever that is. I think it's set for like 10 o'clock tonight. Again, it might be earlier, it might be later, depending on if the game is over. But you're welcome to go into the chat during the post-game show chat and start chatting it up, even during the game. So we have quick comments to talk about once we start the post game later today. So once again, guys, the lineup is Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, Winker, Vientos, Beatty, Torrens, and Siri. Chris Bassett on the mound for the Blue Jays, and Griffin Cannon on the mound for the New York Mets. First night game of the year at CitiField. Mets Saturday night game with the City Connect jerseys. Place is going to be jumping once again. It was powerfully electric yesterday in the afternoon. Imagine what it's going to be tonight. Mets got to jump early. Let's get Griffin Cannon out of that first inning. Get that offense in the game right away. Get it started early. Jump on Chris Bassett. Don't make this a contest. I want to sit back, relax, put my feet up, and enjoy another game. And hopefully that's what happens tonight, guys. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Amazing Mets pregame show right here on the channel. See you later tonight on the postgame show. Myself and Chris will be the hosting on the postgame show, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later tonight on the postgame show. Enjoy the game, guys. Let's go Mets, and I'll see you later tonight in the postgame, guys. Enjoy the game, guys.
Seven train rumble, headed to the field. Orange and blue vibes, the energy revealed. Brooklyn to Queens, repping both hoods. Rob and CP, keep it fire misunderstood. Hear 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Mets fans unite at the pregame show. From city sand lights to the skyline greens. It's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. Rob hype on the mic, CP's the fire spark. Together they ignite, voices like the park. Fans dripped in jerseys, legacy bold. The Metropolitan story forever told.